Flames roared behind him, yet the man walked out without fear. Rio Takeda stepped onto the desert road, covered in dust, holding nothing but a katana wrapped in faded cloth. People whispered as he entered the small Arizona town, wondering how he survived a crash that should have killed him instantly. Emily Carter, a single mother who happened to drive past, felt something in his eyes, pain mixed with purpose. Against every instinct, she let him stay in her guest room. Rio barely spoke, but every movement carried discipline. Meanwhile, unknown to the town, a private military group tracked the crash site. Their drones caught a glimpse of the katana. Colonel Voss, leader of the Black Tide unit, froze when he saw the footage. The sword wasn't just rare, it was impossible. It belonged to a samurai bloodline that should have been extinct. Voss ordered a full operation. Rio, sensing danger, stood alone outside Emily's house that night, staring at the moon with a silent vow. The past he tried to bury had finally found him again. The sword gleamed under the morning light as Emily accidentally uncovered the cloth. She gasped, recognizing it from an old documentary about lost national treasures. When Rio saw her holding it, he didn't panic. He simply bowed his head. That night, he revealed the truth. His clan had preserved the ancient ways of the samurai for centuries, hidden from the world. But 3 years ago, a covert American-backed strike team, Black Tide, invaded their mountain sanctuary to seize their knowledge. Everyone was killed except him. Emily felt her chest tighten at the thought of this quiet, gentle man surviving such horror. Meanwhile, Colonel Voss and his team reached the town's perimeter. Voss studied Rio's old file with cold interest. Rio wasn't just a survivor. He was the final key to unlocking his father's military ambitions. When Black Tide agents arrived to search houses, Rio sensed them before they even stepped on the porch. Emily hid Luke beneath the table as shadows moved past the windows. Rio unwrapped his katana slowly and whispered an ancient phrase his father told him before dying. The code of the samurai would not let him run anymore. Thunder rumbled even though the sky was clear as Rio's memories flooded back. He remembered fire consuming the wooden halls of his clan's sanctuary, remembered his father shouting for him to run, remembered the metallic storm of bullets shredding centuries of tradition. The ghosts of that night pushed into his chest as he sensed Black Tide closing in. Under the moonlight, he moved like wind through Emily's backyard, hiding his presence as armed soldiers approached. When they broke through the fence, the silent battle began. Rio disarmed the first soldier with a flick of his wrist, using the flat of his blade so no blood spilled. Another lunged, but Rio twisted, letting the man fall unconscious. He honored his code, even in battle. Inside the house, Emily held her breath, seeing shadows touch the curtains. When the last soldier collapsed quietly, Rio stood alone again, breathing steadily. His heart pounded not from the fight, but from the truth he could no longer escape. Black Tide wasn't going to stop. They wanted him alive, and that meant Emily and Luke were now in danger because of him. Rio stepped inside and said, "It is time I tell you everything." A single leaked clip changed everything. A Black Tide soldier's body camera footage hit the internet. Rio slicing a bullet in half with one clean motion. Within hours, America exploded with reactions, fear, awe, conspiracy theories. Some called him a threat, others a miracle. Reporters camped outside Emily's street. Police blocked roads. But none of them understood that the true danger wasn't Rio. It was who was coming for him. Inside the house, tensions grew as Rio trained Luke in quiet discipline, teaching him how to breathe, how to focus, how to move without hesitation. Emily watched the bond forming between them and felt a strange mix of comfort and fear. Meanwhile, miles away, Colonel Voss watched the footage again and again, obsessed. He finally revealed the truth to his second-in-command. Years ago, he had worked with Rio's father and believed the samurai lineage could create the perfect soldier. But Rio's father refused, choosing honor over power. Voss saw that refusal as betrayal. Now he wanted Rio to finish what his father never allowed, willingly or by force. As night fell, Rio felt the world closing in. He had become a symbol, but he knew symbols were often hunted. That a hot wind swept across the abandoned steel factory as Rio stepped inside, sensing the presence of the assassin sent to kill him. Jax Keaton, Black Tide's deadliest sniper, perched above the beams like a shadow. The moment Rio's foot touched metal, A shot rang out, clean, precise, deadly. But Rio was faster. He moved behind a hanging chain, letting sparks fall from the ricochet. The duel began, not of swords and bullets, but of patience and mind. Jax spoke through the echoing halls, mocking Rio's ancient code. Rio remained silent, letting his breathing guide him. When Jax finally revealed his location with a second shot, Rio sprang upward, using pipes and beams to reach him. They crashed into each other, a storm of fists, metal, and grit. Jax fought like a machine. Rio fought like a man with something to protect. In the final moment, Rio's blade touched Jax's throat, but he didn't kill him. Instead, he withdrew and said, "A man forced to fight is not my enemy." Jax froze, stunned by the mercy he had never experienced. For the first time in years, a crack appeared in the assassin's hardened heart. With Jax now secretly helping him, Rio uncovered the location of Black Tide's hidden base deep in the Nevada desert. The facility was a technological fortress, labs, weapons programs, mind training chambers designed to break human will. As Rio approached the outer gates, memories of his clan's massacre tightened his chest. He moved like a whisper through security, dismantling guards without lethal force, honoring his father's teachings. Inside, he discovered horrifying evidence, documents revealing Voss's long obsession with extracting samurai discipline and turning it into military programming. Rio felt his blood heat at the sight of children being conditioned in virtual training pods, their minds shaped by fear. Before he could free them, alarms blared. Voss appeared on the monitors, smiling coldly, revealing he had anticipated Rio's arrival. To punish him, Black Tide had kidnapped Emily and Luke. Their terrified faces appeared on screen, tied and guarded. Rio's hands shook with a rare surge of rage. He destroyed the weapon lab in a whirlwind of movement, shattering their machines, burning their files. But Voss's final message echoed through the speakers. "If you want them back, come alone. And bring your father's truth with you." Rio knew this wasn't just a trap, it was a reckoning. Rain struck the ground like gunfire as Rio walked alone toward the Black Tide headquarters, unarmed by choice. The code of his ancestors demanded clarity, to face evil without hiding behind steel. Inside, guards swarmed him, but he moved with impossible grace, redirecting their force rather than attacking. The building trembled with alarms as Rio raced through dark corridors to reach Emily and Luke. When he found them bound in a dim interrogation room, relief flashed through him, but so did danger. Colonel Voss stood behind them, holding a remote detonator and wearing a twisted smile. He taunted Rio, accusing his father of cowardice for refusing to weaponize their lineage. Rio challenged him, demanding the truth. Voss finally revealed the cruel secret. Rio's father survived the clan massacre, but was captured. He had been held for years in a classified location, tortured for knowledge he never gave. Rage surged through Rio's veins, but he kept his focus. When Voss lunged, the two clashed in a brutal fight. No elegance, just raw survival. Rio finally overpowered him and freed Emily and Luke. But Voss's final words echoed, "Your father still lives, and he will break." Rio's world shifted. The sun was rising over the city when Rio stepped onto the rooftop, Emily and Luke finally safe behind him. The battle was over, but the war had just begun. Jax arrived with classified intel, confirming Voss's final claim. Rio's father was alive, hidden in a secret U.S. black site facility. The truth hit Rio with both hope and devastation. His father had sacrificed everything to protect the samurai code, enduring years of silence instead of giving Voss the power he craved. As helicopters circled the ruined headquarters behind them, Emily walked closer, telling Rio he didn't have to face this alone. Luke, now standing stronger after Rio's training, insisted on helping. But Rio knew what was coming required a burden only he could carry. He looked out over the waking city, katana strapped to his back, wind pulling at his hair. He spoke softly, yet his voice carried across the rooftop. "I will bring honor where dishonor rules." With that vow, he stepped forward, ready to challenge a nation's hidden darkness to rescue the man who taught him everything. The last samurai was no longer running. He was rising.